What's up, youth? How's it going? Well, I'll tell you how it's going for me. It's going splendidly. I'm got 3 more sleeps and then I'm off to Portugal for 2 weeks. I'm going to a Tantra festival, of all things, which will be fascinating. And the chess is like, I don't know what's happening. Like, seriously, check this out. So this is, what, a month ago? So mid-August, I'm like 1600 in Blitz, 1500 Bullet, 1700 Rapid, okay? I'm now 1849 in Blitz. That is my highest ever rated. I was 1850 something a minute ago. And 1841 in Rapid. My classical rating is 1810. So I'm like a fully 1800 Lichess person there. So that's like 1600, 1650, something like that, chess.com equivalent roughly. So what I thought I might do just now is try and up the classical, which is slightly behind. Now, one thing that's really interesting, but in fact, before I do this, I want to show you something. Just want to show you something. I got a, was it a 9-move win or something in a Blitz game recently, and I just want to show you how it goes because it's really cool. So we're going for the Guring Gambit, obviously, you know, and if they go Philidor, then we carry on regardless. Carry on regardless. They take here and we give them a second pawn, okay, and they take a second time, and you can see the computer move here is bishop c4, which is of course the move we're going to play with a 60% win rate. Now I think that's set to absolutely everything, so let's just take off absolutely everything. 1800 and 2000, right? This is what we're aiming for. 1800 plus. Go on. Bishop c4, 60% win rate. Now, I draw the attention of the court to the following 4 moves. Bishop to e6, we do rather well. Okay. Bishop to e6, do we trade off there? I think if bishop e6, I think what you do here is you trade. Then when their pawn takes back, you've got queen b3, which is actually a fork on 2 undefended pawns. Yeah, queen b3 wins 66%. Okay, so that's good. I mean, this is like somebody's trying to play the Philidor because they're a boring bastard. And you say, sorry, mate, no boringness today. We're going to do this, right? So that's the most common move. Knight f6 is like, yeah, all right, whatever, you know. Generally, yeah, the general rule is if the knight advances into a path of an oncoming pawn. But that's not what I brought you here to talk about. Bishop to e7. Bishop to e7 is poor because you just double up. And in fact, now you've got your battery here against f7. This is the whole point of the Guring Gambit and Bird's Gambit against the Philidor, or Bird Gambit. The problem is now they can't defend this, right? Because normally they could play queen e7 or queen f6, or even queen d7 and defend this pawn. They can't. And they can't do that either because you capture, right? And then after they take, you take, then like you literally just win, okay? So all these lines aren't good. All these 3 lines aren't good. Okay, so after you do this, right? Yeah, so this is no good. And by the way, the move d6 in the Guring Gambit is very, very common. And generally, in my course, I say that when you see the move d6, you build your battery. So if your bishop isn't on c4, you play bishop c4. If your bishop is, you play queen b3. Very, very, very easy to remember. Anyway, but that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to talk about is move number 4. Pawn to h6. 13%. Right? Now that's more than 1 in 8 games, isn't it? So 12.5% is 1 in 8. This is more than 1 in 8 games. Between 1 in 8 and 1 in 7 games. Okay? And we'll switch the thing off. Okay? Oh, I've still got the best move arrow on. Okay. Right, so now I've played h6 and I've hidden the thingies and the best move arrow. And it's your job now to figure out why this is bad. I mean, it's only got white as plus 0.7 here. Okay, I say only. We're 2 pawns down. So what that means is that the engine actually considers white's position almost 3 pawns better positionally in terms of, you know, the compensation that we've got. So we've got 2 minor pieces developed, black has none. We're ready to castle, black is not, okay? But the question now is, find the killer move for white. Now, it doesn't win on the spot, but it wins a lot in real life, and we'll look at it in a minute. So, you know, give it some thought if you like. Press pause, have a think. Okay, now, it's a common kind of idea when you've got a bishop in the Italian position. So I call these Spanish, Italian, and Greek, because this one lines up the Greek gift. This is obviously, you know, the Roy Lopez. This is the Italian. Okay, so, and it's actually, the queen is our target here, right? If you think about it, because what we do is we play bishop takes f7, the best move in chess. I thank you, right? And it's plus 1.2. Okay. Now the king has to take. The king can't do anything else. Okay. So anything else is plus 4 for white. So the king takes, and then the deadly move, right? We're only slightly better here, but in practice, knight to e5, and here's the point, right? We have the king in check, and the pawn can't take because the king has stepped away from the queen. We normally think of queens as like they don't need defending much, but yeah, the pawn can't take. So in the game I had, the only moves are take the knight and lose the queen, right? King f6 or king e7, okay? If king f6, then you come in with check and you actually give up. The king has to take that now. Then I think, is it this bishop out? I send queen f7 here. Anyway, so but yeah, there's different lines. What was the one? What was the one I had? This, I think it was. Crazy. So the queen comes in, supported by the pawn, and now there's only 2 moves. And in the game, he went there and got mated, and that's instant checkmate. Okay. The only other thing he can do is come out here, and then you come in here, give up the knight, bishop defended by the queen. Again, he can either take the pawn. If he goes to if he goes here, it's just mate, right? Oops. Anyway, where were we? Here. Yeah, you do this. If he takes the pawn, it's like mate and 2. You take this with check. He then has to come here, and then it's long castles into mate. No, it's not. It depends where he goes. If he went here, then long castles is mate. That's it. If he goes here, it's just queen d5 is mate. So anyway, beautiful line that I want you to remember, right? Bird Gambit. And if you want to learn this, get my Guring Gambit course, because we cover Bird Gambit in it. It's very similar. So what's the difference? Well, the Guring Gambit comes from the Scotch game, this. Okay, accepted. That's the Guring. Okay, this is the starting position of the Guring. So the Bird Gambit is very, very similar, but they play the Philidor rather than the normal King's Knight. And you do the same shit anyway. This, they take, you bring the bishop out, h6, all together now, what do we do? The best move is actually bishop takes f7. And there, in comes the knight. Plus 3, you've basically won. Right, so there you go. Just thought, do a little lesson there in some theory. So what we're going to do now is I thought we'd play some classical. Well, we call it classical, right? But I'm going to play against Maia9. And I strongly, strongly recommend that you practice against the Maia bots on Lichess. The way to get into it is community, players, and then in the side menu, online bots. Okay. Now, the Maia bots are fantastic. They have been modeled on the players database, right? So there we go. Here's Maia, right? So we're playing 18 plus change. Okay, and we've got a Siciliano. So I'm going to play the Grand Prix like normal. All right, and I'll just play f4. And this is the point. Maia plays so much like a human that this is actually a rated game. This is fascinating. Okay. So the normal idea here is bishop b5. Try and swap off your bad bishop and then play d3. So if I do that and Maia takes, I can take back with that knight. I'm kind of cool with that. The other option is to push here, which de-encourages knight f6. I might get pushed and kicked round here, which is, again, no bad thing either. I don't really mind, but I'm going to go with kind of more normal Grand Prix. And this is a waste of a move, right? So very often in these positions, like you'll do the same with black very often with like bishop b4 to pin the knight, and then you're waiting. So it's like a Nimzo Indian. You wait for them to waste the move with pawn to a3. And you say, right, you just wasted a move here. a6 in this case. Right, you're going to recapture. There's not really much to think about Maia, to be honest. Okay. Now I think this is really not... I would be very happy to see them take there, because they're going to get doubled isolated pawns. So now I'm just going to castle and tempt Maia into doing that. This also would be a bit of a waste of a move, because Maia's now got a heap of pawns up the board. There we go. Now, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Am I going to harass the horse? I don't really want to. I'm thinking d3 here, actually. But maybe we need coffee before we think too much about this. So yeah, so the Maia bots, there's Maia, is it Maia 1, Maia 5, Maia9, whatever, 3 flavours. Slightly different ratings, but they're all in the intermediate range. But they've been modelled on the human database, you know, the actual Lichess players database, which is what people play. So they've tried to get the AI to learn not just what's best by brute force calculation. I've dribbled, excuse me. But to learn what do people do, what do humans do, and then to try and copy that. Okay, so here we go. So it's brilliant. It's brilliant and far better, in my humble opinion, than any of the chess.com bots. Now, okay. Now we push with tempo. Knight could come here and get its ass kicked again, right? Can't go there, can't go there, can't go there, can't go there. Has to retreat here. Or it goes back there and gets in under everybody's feet. So I'm just going to do it. Yeah. It is, like we say, it's a general rule. If a knight is there and you can harass it, there we go. Okay. So this is defended. This is undefended currently. Everything else is kind of defended. I'm castled. He isn't. He or she, I don't know. Maia is gender ambiguous. I'm going to just bring this knight around because it's not doing a fat lot on that side of the screen. Yeah, I mean, that's out, but, you know, this, not really. It's defended twice. Okay, we have bishop e7. Okay, I'm going to play queen e1. This is a normal move. Because Maia's got lots of attention on these squares, the idea is going to be queen to d3, lined up against the king. Okay. Other times, if they play g6 and fianchetto the bishop, not the rook, then you very often go to queen goes to h4. Okay. Okay, again, I'm just thinking maybe d3 here. There's no point taking and improving that knight. If takes, I take back. I can take back with the knight. Probably the pawn, though. This bishop has to play a role. Do I want to fianchetto that one? Are we going to get d4? Frustrating me. Doesn't really frustrate me that badly, though. I definitely don't want to take. I'm taking away from the centre first of all. Okay, so the question is, that's 2 moves. There is a semi-open b file, so that's not terrible. Or c3 d4. What about immediate d4? Let's say Maia takes. I then improve this knight, don't I? Attacking this. And, ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah, go on. Oh, I can't resist. Can't resist that. That's good, you know? I mean, I can take here with either knight, so let's consider both eventualities. This knight is looking there, which this knight is not. That's the difference. So if they take here, do I want to take back? I don't know. I just think take with the further away knight. And now we're attacking 2 undefended pawns. Maia can actually defend both with a move like knight b8. Because knight... Ooh. Well, that doesn't defend both. That defends one of them. So this pawn is now defended twice, and this bugger is not defended at all. So I get to take this pawn now for nothing, forking the queen and the bishop. The queen's going to have to move. So the queen's going to come here or here or here, defending the bishop. Right? And I don't think I want that bishop. I've got knight f to d4 if I want to pair up the horses. But let's consider... Well, no, my knight's hanging, so it's either take the bishop, retreat, or defend. If I was to defend and takes and takes, there could be bodies everywhere. And to be honest, this bishop is not far off playing a role, so I am actually gonna sacrifice the horse. It's not a sacrifice, I'm gonna trade off the horse. Okay, queen recaptures. And still we're looking kind of... Okay, so this... finish your sentence, Benjamin. Yeah, I've got this feeling that Maia's burned a lot of moves and disappeared a lot of stuff. Do I still want to do this? I think I do. I think I do. For one thing, it closes off any idea of, you know, like rook b8 and shenanigans. But bishop b2, because I've got, you know, here's the tension, right? This is the tension on the board. Right, it attacks my queen. Precious. Okay, I'm not worried about knight there. I'm certainly not worried about knight there or knight there. So what if we push up? And what if they push? I can come here. Or I just come back. I didn't really consider that move, did I? Back is generally not the direction you want to be going. Okay, I'm going to come here. Yeah. One reason is the queen is undefended. Okay, so this pawn can't take. Because the queen takes queen, wins. It checks us from Texas. Right, and that's actually a fork. So there's me talking about how Maia's position's all kind of higgledy-piggledy, and it's actually mine is the one that suddenly shows signs of holes. Okay, bishop a3 hits the rook. There's not much I can do. I mean, it's not, the queen can't attack this rook. She could go there. This is annoying. Okay, I think this is kind of a no-brainer. So I've now lost back the pawn that I won, which vexes me. Do want to get my bishop onto that diagonal. So I've got like rook b1, bishop b2, takes. He's got a very nice outposted knight here though as well. There. Actually creates a nice square for my knight. What about this? No, knight takes. Okay, I'm going to trade off in the middle. Got knight takes, pawn takes, which looks horrible, or rook takes. But either way, I have this. I also have... You took with a pawn? Okay, here we just got rook there, right? That I have to confess, that was a little bit of a surprise. I was not expecting that one. But knight d4 harassing the queen, but no real forward motion from there. I could do this, but then rook there and I have to move. Huh. I feel like this is important, and I feel like this bishop has no future on that particular diagonal. So, oh, but that actually drops this pawn, which is also annoying. There, she can't go there. So she can go here, or technically there as well. I feel like I want to get rid of that knight. I do not like it. Let's say I just had my bishop on there and forgot about pawns. This pawn is just too well defended. So he's taken with the g pawn in order to not to allow me knight e5. I think is the situation. So I'm actually coming back to queen e1 here, being like the best of a bad bunch. If I was to push and pawn takes, push and push, then my pawn's actually hanging to the bishop. Yeah, I'm just going to bring my queen back. I can't find anything better. This I can just trade. Okay, so the threat is queen takes g2 mate. I think here we just push. Dropping my queen to there would be lovely, which I can't do now because rook defends. That is undefended though. Does that win the pawn then? Hits the queen. Queen can't go to there because of the square. Okay, I know it's a rectangle, but the point is that the knight controls all four corners. So there's nowhere the queen can go that defends this pawn. That's not mate because king takes. I'm going to try it. I've also got maybe this if I want to trade off. The point is, taking this pawn would isolate the f pawn and the d pawn. Okay, if I take, you go there, I just... No, don't get it. You're not going to sack there, are you? No, because it's defended by the queen and the... No. Now I've got this hitting the queen one more time as the song goes. And then take out the bishop. How does the queen defend the bishop? She can go there. But that is a good bishop. Oh, hang on. Knight takes knight is on. But then I just take back. And I've taken out his good knight. I've also got f5 hitting the rook. Rook can't go there, can't stay there, can't go there. If rook goes here, I've got knight back as well, haven't I? Stop. Don't do that. Knight back here. Hitting the queen. So that's kind of interesting, actually. There, rook here. Knight back here hits the queen. And that. Or I just come here and wipe out the bishop. And my hunch says to me, my hunty hunch says wipe out the bishop. Rook d1 is also a thought. There we just trade off. I kind of like this move as well. But, you know, my hunch says that bishop is potentially far too strong. Having said that, but if you do that, knight takes, pawn, bishop takes, pushes. Okay, so now I'm going back to rook d1 as the favoured thing. Queen can't go there. Okay, I'm going to activate the rook. Lots of choices, lots of good moves. I hope I've made the right decision. This knight kind of needs to defend that square right now. I still have this idea. I still have this idea. Okay, queen now. RUNNOFTs. This, and I've got then two attackers on there, but he's got two defenders. I'm just going for this move. I like the fact that I'm just quietly advancing a pawn up the board as well. Pawns up the board can be useful later on in the game. Oh shit, I've just missed a simple fork. It's still on. Queen and rook. I'm not bothered about this, we can just take it. I'm not bothered about this because we can take it. It's got to be good to cash in, hasn't it? I mean, I'd like to play that move and attack the queen on that, but no, I think I'm just going to have to trade this knight for this rook. You could do that. Rook c1. Is still on, as the poem goes. This now attacks their rook, which can go here or here. If these pieces move, that could be kind of Harry McClary from Donaldson's Dairy, couldn't it? Indeed. What about this as well? Also forcing the rook back. Let's get the queen off that diagonal of doom anyway. That seems, because the queen and bishop lined up against my king in the corner and only black bits in the way. Nah. Nah. Nah, mate. Right, cash in the knight. Cash in the knight. Oh, what a night. And you can see here, you can set whatever time you really want with Maya, because Maya's always going to play in less than 10-ish seconds. Okay, it'd be lovely to pawn fork. These guys, I'm up 3 materials currently, and I'm still liking the look of pawn to h3. Problem with that move is that this pawn is attacked twice and only defended by the queen. How about this, though? If he takes, I drop this pawn. There's this move, hitting the rook. I'd like to improve that bishop. That bishop's not doing much useful. There's nowhere for it to go, really. So, sorry, I'm looking at this rook now. Kind of like this. To annoy the rook. Knight take here, takes. Push with check. No, this is, I think, my threat's too great. Because this comes with check, so you can't move to either side. So it's rook here or rook here. Yeah? Could even push up. Okay. This bishop is deadly. And I'm terrified of it. Pushes there, I've always got a check here. Unless I'm in check myself. So do I just play my rook to there, my king to there? He's got 2 attackers on this now. So I'm going to chuck this in. Idea of king g1. I'm really having to scrap for this game. As that pawn hangs. Cock. And then that would have traded off the queens. Okay, right. Now comes the big threat of this. So I'm simply going to play king g1. Still with this idea. To simplify into a winning endgame. I have 2 rooks and they're both decent. Okay, I can't take the knight. Can't go there. I think it's just queen e3, that's all I can think of. Or this. Pinning the knight. It's a try. Still hate this bishop. Hateful, hateful bishop. Okay. Obviously this pawn's a major, major threat. One of these rooks I think is going to have to come to d1. Here, rook knight takes rook. Here, knight moves and I'm just dead. Maya's playing well. In fact, we also then played a game in Craig's session the other day. I have this. Check. King comes up. What about just this? Take my rook, I take this with check. There's no check from the knight. You take, I take the bishop with check. Queen takes. Oh, yeah, queen takes is worse. Queen takes, I take the queen, you take me. Well, that just wins the bishop. King moves. Now, I can't win the bishop because they get a queen. That here, king comes up. If I do this and like that, this and that, I think we might live actually to tell the tale. I'm not sure. Guys, it's complicated. The check's pointless. King just lifts. We give another check. King runs away here. Actually, there. If the king tries to run this way, that could be curtains. Oh, sod it. Let's do it. The king can't. King goes here. I've got this defended by the bishop, which looks very matish to me. Now, check again. We could get a draw. There's only 3 legal moves and 1 stupid one. Rook blocks is the only legal move and queen takes rook is mate. This is also a potential horribleness. Okay, well, if you want to put yourself through absolute torture, then go ahead and play Maia. Yeah, I had a game, I had a lesson with Colin on Wednesday, 2 days ago. And, oh, by the way, this computer analysis thing was show fishnet analysis was switched off. And they've handily given you the shortcut key Z, or Z on your keyboard. So you press that and that thing disappears. And then it comes back. Yeah, we were, ooh, a bit of a heart rate monitor there, guys. Which is only fitting, because I gave myself a heart attack. Ouch. 7 blunders already from me, 5 from Maia. Oh, that was nasty. That was nasty. But I am, what, 1800-ish rated, and Maia is 1679 rated. So, but even so, damn. Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously still learning the Grand Prix, but let's just go through it. Okay, so it doesn't. Okay, best move arrow. Still bring out the bishop or immediate knight. So, anyway, this is the Grand Prix. This is all normal. That's not great. We should take the knight, which we do. Okay, now it says d3, but castles is fine. Okay, so we're fine. All fine. Push is fine. Knight goes back. And here I'm feeling quite comfortable. It doesn't like me moving the knight a second time. It likes d3, b3, whatever. Okay. And this is a mistake. Shouldn't have done that. I should not have done that. I should have pushed d3 instead. And that was poor, as we knew. And now I should take the bishop. Okay. So here we're good, right? And here, it's saying just keep going. Smash in the middle of the board. Crikey. And then literally all hell breaks loose. And to be honest, guys, I can't even... I don't think I can face all those tactics again. You know, just lucky, you know, we punked him in the end. I'd already calculated that. So actually here is losing. Here is still losing. He lifts up the king. I go back. He has to go back in the corner, which could lead to repetition, but this is a forced mate that I figured out. But again, it's only because I calculated, and it's only a couple of moves, but I looked at it, calculated it, and thought, actually, there's a forced mate if he goes there, so he can't go there. And yeah, that's 1800 level play for you, I suppose. That's how we're doing. So I've earned 24 points from that. Let's just have a quick look at my old profile. It's looking good, huh? So what is this now? My Blitz is 1849, my Rapid is 1841, my Classical is 1834. Happy days. And my Bullet sucks. Because that's for children who can move and think far quicker than me. But yeah, I thought that was painful. But yeah, it's not a bad day today. 1 Classical game, 1 win. 2 Rapids, both wons. And 7 Blitz games, 4 wins, 3 losses. But doing pretty well. So I don't know, something's going right. Maybe it's just luck of the chess gods is smiling on me. But hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.